day, we'll go through uniform sizing for your daughter, make sure she gets the right size shirt, uniform shirt. We'll get her a tryout t-shirt with a number on it that she can wear to the tryout day. And we'll also go through the paperwork and make sure that all the paperwork and everything is filled out and is all correct. And then the next thing you do after pre-tryout orientation day is you attend the tryout. The pre-tryout orientation day usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. You just show up anytime between 10 and 12, and you just follow around. We'll have a couple tables set up, and you just kind of follow a path around through the tables. And then we'll have a checkout table, hand in your paperwork. Once you check out, keep the tryout t-shirt, and then just make sure that your daughter wears that t-shirt with the number on it for tryouts the following weekend or 2 weeks after that. We have our 2 tryout dates. November 13th is for ages 11 to 14. That's a Saturday. That tryout time is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then the following weekend on the 20th of November is the tryouts for the 15 and 16-year-olds. And that's also from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Check-in for tryouts will start at 8:15. So you can get there anytime between 8:15 and 9. We'll do a quick check-in. Make sure your daughter has the right number shirt on for tryouts. And then we'll get started right at 9, and we'll finish a few minutes before 12. Then after the tryout day, what'll happen is the coaches and I will meet, and we'll go through the tryout results and the coaches' notes and everything. And then we will pick teams with the coaches Sunday or Saturday after the tryouts before the coaches leave the gym. And then parents will get an email Monday morning with the information for their team, the practice day and time, and the coach's name and their coach's info. There'll also be a link in that email to accept your spot on the team through Constant Contact. So we use Constant Contact for the team acceptance fee, which is the rest of the program fee. So the $75 registration fee is paid upfront before tryouts to register your daughter to play. And then the rest of the VYVL fee, which is $675, is paid after tryouts to accept a spot on the team. Now, that's the only other payment you have to make for VYVL. So that $675 will cover the jerseys, the cost of paying the coaches, the tournament fees that we pay to play in the different tournaments for VYVL, coaches per diem, practice time, court time for practices, and that sort of stuff. So once you accept a spot on the team, you'll receive a confirmation email that will have the rest of the details for the season from me, with your team roster and contact info for all the parents on the team, and a roster of the girls and names and jersey numbers and all that kind of thing for the team. Once you get that, then there's really nothing else you need to do until the first practice. And we start Monday, January 3rd. That first week of January will be the first week of practice for all the VYVL teams. And we'll all start that first Monday. So there's nothing after tryouts until that first practice. Coaches will certainly email out information and their contact info and their own expectations for the season and the team. And then they'll do that between tryouts and the first practice. So you should have also a chance to have a meeting similar to this with your coach. We'll try and set one up on each team, whether it's on Zoom or before or after a practice to get a chance for the parents, for you guys to meet with the coach and hear from them and ask them any questions you have specific to your daughters and her team. The tournament schedule. So right now we have 3 tournaments scheduled for Richmond, and they'll all be at one of our 2 gyms, Bird Hill or at Stonebridge. The tournaments are February 5th, March 12th, and April 23rd. So those are 3 Saturdays, and those are the 3 tournaments that we're hosting at RBC. There is one tournament, and they're all single-day tournaments. Generally, you'll have pool play in the morning, and then depending on the number of teams in the age group, there would be a short break for lunch, and then there's a playoff bracket, like a single elimination playoff bracket in the afternoon. So the tournaments usually start at 9 a.m. And they usually get finished around 3 to 4 in the afternoon, depending on the number of teams and the number of matches that everyone plays. There is one tournament scheduled for Virginia Beach. That's the weekend of April 2nd and 3rd. So the one in Virginia Beach is a 2-day tournament. The first day, April 2nd, will be pool play. And then the teams will have a break. And then they won't play again until April 3rd, until Sunday. And Sunday will be a single elimination playoff bracket style tournament day. So that one in Virginia Beach is a 2-day event. So you should plan on, you can drive down on Saturday morning if you want, or get a hotel for Friday night. For this tournament, we're just going to get hotel rooms for our coaches. And then we leave it up to you all, to the parents and the kids and your family, if you want to get a hotel or make the trip back and forth to Virginia Beach or not. The tournament will be at their new, the Virginia Beach Sports Center. It's a really nice gym, about a block off the water. A lot of courts, and it will be paired with another tournament that TVA, which is the club we partner with for this, is hosting a separate tournament, and we'll have our own reserved courts for the VYVL tournament that weekend. Let's see. So for right now, for tournament, this year, there are no spectator limits. I talked to Chris at TVA, and they have no limits on their amount of spectators right now. However, all spectators, at least as of today, will be required to wear masks in the gym. And again, that policy could certainly change 5 or 6 times before we get to our first VYVL tournament. But just keep in mind that that's something that that could change based on the gym and location. But as of now, there's no limit on spectators. They would just ask everyone to wear a mask. As far as practices go, so the specific practice schedule, you won't find out until you get the offer to the certain team that your daughter made. Since we kind of let the coaches pick, they pick the practice time they're able to make with their work schedule and everything. And then once they get that, we'll send out an email. The acceptance email will have your practice time and day. So you know exactly when you're practicing and what you're committing to before you accept a spot on that particular team. This year for RBC, we are not letting in spectators for any practice, but we are allowing spectators for tournaments. So those 3 Saturday events that we'll host for VYVL, those will have spectators. And again, at this point, it's just asking everyone, all the spectators, to wear a mask while they're inside the gym watching. For the expectations for practice, I mean, it's really arriving to a practice 15 minutes early to do a little warm up and get all their stuff on and get changed into their volleyball clothes if they need to, if they're coming from school or something. And then the coach will get there early and they'll get the team started right at 5:15 or 7:15. Those are 2 practice times, 5:15 to 7 p.m. or 7:15 to 9 p.m. So that it will be one of those 2 times during the week that you will have your practice this year for VYVL. And all the practices will be at our Stonebridge location over in Chesterfield. Let's see, tryout days. So to go over that relatively quickly, check-in again will start at 8:15 in the morning on the Saturday of tryouts. The check-in process takes 1 to 2 minutes. And then your daughter's tryouts will start at 9. And we'll have the coaches evaluating the girls when they went through some drills. And I'll kind of, I'll be the one leading the drills and explaining it to the girls, and let the coaches move around and evaluate the kids. And for VYVL, we do it by age group. We'll split the girls up by age group. But because we don't run through USA Volleyball, when we make the teams, they don't have to necessarily be age specific. So if your daughter is 15, she might end up on a 16s team because that's where she fits skill wise. And that's a better fit for her than playing on the 15s team. So keep in mind that it's not necessarily going to be an exact fit with your daughter's age. Again, coaches will pick the teams on Saturday after tryouts. We'll have a meeting with myself and the coaches, and then you will get an email on Monday morning after tryouts explaining the offer you're getting for your team, the practice time, a reminder of the tournament dates, and all that stuff. And then once you accept that and make the final payments and everything, then your daughter's all set, and we'll get the uniforms ordered right after the teams are completed. And then we'll wait until January 3rd for that first practice. I'll send out information on the tournaments as we get closer to them. The schedules, the exact schedules for the tournaments are usually available Monday or Tuesday of the week of the tournament. So you will know what time you have to be at the gym before that, because we'll know what time the first match is starting. But we won't know your daughter's exact schedule until Monday or Tuesday before the event. That's all that I have here. I'll go through some of the questions.
Matt,
Yes.
I've answered a lot of the questions, but
okay.
and we can open it up to everyone, but there was a few that I wasn't sure about. One was, is there an orientation for the boys league, which I know is separate from this, but.
Oh, yeah. So, well, the boys youth league, they're going to have just a day, an open gym orientation day on a Sunday in November. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, but the boys youth league will have something similar, but that's more of a placement day. It's not really a tryout. It's not too similar to the VYVL.
Okay. And somebody asked that we verify the tournament dates, because I think they thought they heard you say something different than what's online. Online, we have it as the ones at RBC being February 5th, March 12th, and April 23rd. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, those are the ones for RVC.
Okay, and then the one at the Tidewater Volleyball Association is April 2nd and 3rd.
Yes, the first weekend, the first Saturday and Sunday in April. Yeah.
Okay. And it's one practice a week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that was all the questions that maybe I didn't get to or not, but yeah, we can open it up. And if anybody else has questions, please feel free to chime in.
Hi, this is Jennifer Smith. I know that you said it was one practice per week, but I read in the chat, did it say those are on Monday or could they be any day of the week?
Those will be on Monday, Monday night, and it'll be one of two time slots, the 5:15 to 7 or 7:15 to 9 p.m.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
We've played with RVC before and it's been parents as coaches, which has been great. We're new to this league. So are the coaches parents again, or can you tell us a little bit about the coaches?
Sure. So these coaches, they may be a parent of a kid on their team, but they all have coached volleyball before. A lot of them coach high school, JV or something like that, or they've also coached VYVL in the past, or they also coach middle school league. So they actually have a volleyball background. Whereas for the parent coaches, for the jump juniors and that sort of group, they don't have to have a volleyball background, but all of our VYVL coaches have volleyball experience and have coached at least VYVL last season, if not a high school team.
And someone had asked about extra practice days, and I know we've done that in the past, but are we doing that this year?
I would like to. At this current moment, it's hard to give out exact dates. We did it last year, but it was made easier by the high school volleyball season.
Oh, right.
In the spring, so we knew dates ahead of time. But we'll certainly look into that as we get closer to the start of the season, and at least try and have some optional open gyms or similar skill days that we had last year. But I just can't give specifics on dates or anything like that yet.
Right. And yeah, you mentioned open gym, but we do have Saturday night all play, which is basically an open gym on Saturdays. And, once you've got your team, maybe you want to get them together and, have the players just go out and play doing that, or any of our other open gym times. And we do have, you can sign up for private lessons, but I don't know if you want to go that far. And Eric asked about who you could contact for more information on the Boys Youth League, and that would be you. And I will put your email in the chat for anyone who might want to follow up with some questions with you. And somebody asked, is the TVA dates are at the start of spring break, and unfortunately, that's kind of the world of travel sports and travel volleyball. They do infringe on holidays, and that one is, I think they are aware that it's the start of spring break, at least for some schools, and that date is set in stone, right, Matt?
Yeah, they've already had that date for a couple months with the other juniors tournament going on too.
Hey, Matt, can you talk about that registration day, the weekend before tryouts again? I don't know, my brain went off. Just what is it? What are we doing again?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
So the pre-tryout orientation day is on the 7th, and that on a Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon at Bird Hill. That day is basically takes 10 to 15 minutes. We get your daughter a tryout t-shirt with a number. We get her sized for the jersey that the girls get for VYVL, and then we just go through all of your paperwork and make sure everything's completed and signed up and all that stuff. And then you just check out, and then you're good there. And then your daughter just wears the t-shirt they get from the pre-tryout orientation day to tryouts, because it'll have a number on the front and the back. And that's what we use when we evaluate the kids at tryouts.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Matt, so if our daughter wanted to try out for the 15-year-old and up league, but she'll be 14 at the time, do we show up to which tryout do we show up for?
You can show up to the older one if you would like. What I would say is send me an email so that we can figure out the specifics of that. But if they do try out up, there might be a chance that they might be asked to play on like the lower 14s team. And because basically for that, we would just, if that was the case, we would have to go through and maybe put her back on a 14s team. But generally speaking, it's not a big deal. But again, it also depends on the number of kids that have signed up in each age group and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I know that the last parent had said that if she wanted her child to try out for the 15-year-old, I have a 14-year-old. Well, she'll be 14 in December actually, but if she goes through the 14-year-old tryouts and she does well, without me having to go to a 15-year-old tryout, would you guys recommend her maybe trying to play for the 15-year-olds on your own without me having to do a second tryout?
Yes. So we look for those kids at the younger tryout, and anyone that looks like they could play up, especially again into VYVL. So the birth dates are not a huge deal for us for here because we don't have official rosters. But we would ask her if she'd want to try playing up, and then we just follow up with the parents,
Okay,
and just send a note.
awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
I will say, I mean, I think I asked this question, like my daughter is 14, but was told to come to the 15-year-old tryout, I guess, because she turns 15 in May and y'all said she goes by the September 1st date. Is that?
Yeah, I had said that, but it's not, as Matt said, it's not written in stone.
Okay.
I mean,
So
if you would prefer her trying 14, I think that it's up to Matt, but yeah, I think.
it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I just wanted to make sure I was following the directions because the email said bring her to the 15-year-olds. And I was like, okay, well,
Right.
she's not 15 until even after this is done. So,
Right. Yeah, and that email is just auto-generated from the birth date based on the USA Volleyball rules, because we use the same one for our travel teams that have to follow the birthday things closely. But for anyone that is not sure about their daughter, like which tryout their daughter should come to, just send me an email and we can figure it out. But again, it's VYVL, so it's not anything super serious on the birthday side of things.
Matt, we got a question about what skills are you looking for kids to have for the younger VYVL team?
I mean, honestly, for the 12s and even for the 13s, it's I mean, a little bit of volleyball experience doesn't hurt. But I mean that it's set up to where they learn all the basic skills anyway. They go over a lot of passing especially serving at the younger age groups. So really just a kid that's willing to try at practice and to work hard and just try and get better with all the basic skills. You know, a lot of the kids that played 12s for us at VYVL don't have a lot of 6-on-6 experience. They might have done like jumping juniors for a season or two, but they really haven't played on a travel team or any type of organized team yet. So they're missing that side of the volleyball experience as well. But real honestly, just a good attitude and who enjoys being in the gym and working.
Yeah, hi, Matt. I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Everybody's been kind of asking about their 14-year-olds going up to the 15 and 16. So would you also put a 16-year-old with the younger kids if that was their skill level?
Yeah, if that was actually a really good fit for them, we have no problem doing that. Especially if they're just, you know, really starting to try to get into volleyball. We've done that in the past where it's just a better fit. It might just be a better fit for them to play. And, you know, as long as if it's their skill level, that's what we'll put them with the right group of kids and the right coach for that.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay. And yeah, all the practices and the tryouts are all at Stonebridge. The only thing that's at Bird Hill is the pre-tryout orientation day. Everything else will be at Stonebridge the whole season.
You had mentioned that one of the tournaments might be at Bird Hill, but no, are all the tournaments at Stonebridge too?
One might be at Bird Hill. It just depends on what happens with our boys tournament that weekend too. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, thank you all for coming out to the meeting. Feel free to send me an email if anything comes up between now and the pre-tryout orientation day. I'll also be there on the 7th for the pre-tryout orientation day. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have there as well. And then I usually answer emails within a couple hours, so especially during the work day. So feel free to reach out with anything or call the office as well if that works better. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.